what it means to you to run a financially healthy winery.
The real key is cash flow. You want to grow your sales. You want to, invest in new plant and equipment, things like that. But the bottom line is, if you're not generating a positive cash flow, you're not going to be around very long unless you have some corporate sponsor that has very deep pockets.
When I think about a financially healthy wine business, the first thing to really understand for yourself is what's the proposition of the business. There's no such thing really, as we all know, as a wine business. There are wine businesses. They're very, very different from each other. If you are a small winery in the Loire, your business looks very little like a large multinational corporation, which looks very little like a Pinot Noir business in the Willamette Valley than a Cabernet business in Napa. And then at what stage are you in to the project? You may not be in a financial harvesting moment, right? So, but within that, you have to be able to look at, well, what is that time frame? Does my proposition in some time frame, in some business plan, actually start to pencil out? And I think that is actually surprisingly difficult for some wineries to get their arms around.
It becomes like a 3 to 5 year proposition. If you want to grow, you got to start spending money now, but you're not going to really see the benefit of that growth until 3 to 5 years out.
You have to make sure that you've created something that's financially stable, and it's increasingly difficult, right? I think all of us who are in the wine world, who see the cost of all inputs rising, which we all know, the cost of regulation, the cost of labor, the cost of anything that you want to do is going up, probably well ahead of inflation over the last 5 years. So how do you still manage to do that? And one of the things we should talk a little bit about, probably, especially for smaller and medium-sized wineries, is how much visibility do you have as the business owner to your P&L? A lot of wineries have an awful lot of cash that flows out of their winery that they don't see on the standard income statement, because an awful lot of winery cash has flown out in all kinds of ways that are going to show up on the balance sheet. Are you pretty comfortable understanding what your cost of goods structure really is, what your fixed costs are, and what your variable costs are, and how that might change depending on the moment that you are, the year you are in the winery, whether you're growing and spending money ahead of sales, or whether you are more or less in supply and demand balance, and you're not growing, and then you're trying to make sure that you're going to be able to be profitable. And I think one of the challenges that people have, depending on what kind of software they're using and how much sophistication they're bringing to their finance conversations, is really understanding why their net income and their cash flows might be so different.